Hey everybody, it's Cara from Perspective-Based Parenting. Happy Easter. It's Easter Sunday. And regardless of how you celebrate this holiday, I feel like it's a really perfect day to talk about parenting and the different perspectives that we bring to it throughout the years. I'd love you to go back today. Go back in your and maybe you're holding a little infant right now, and if you are, you're in the perfect place for this video, this lesson. But if you have a toddler running around, or you have a preschooler who's been up since 5 wanting to find out where the Easter Bunny put the eggs, go back to infancy. Think about the hours after your baby was born. Think about the months of night turning into day and day turning into night, where there really was no differential, right? It was just baby time all the time. Think about that tiny little person who you would hold and rock and sing to and talk to, who you really didn't know anything about except they were yours. Are you there? Okay. Who is that little person? Who? Not what, right? We often talk about what we hope our kids turn into being. We often talk about, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? I went to a preschool graduation once, many times actually, where that question was asked, and each kid would stand up very proudly and say firefighter, or doctor, or whatever their I remember one little boy wanted to be a superhero. That was pretty cool, right? Because that shows that he still just has this beautiful brain working. And and my favorite, a UPS driver, although he called it a PUS driver, which was even cooler. Okay, I digress. None of those are who your child is, right? They're what they think they might want to be. And as parents, we fall very strongly into that trap sometimes of what we want our child to be. And we don't pause to think about who they actually are. This concept of nature versus nurture is at the core of everything I believe and everything I teach. It's a balancing act. Every single human being is born into this world, including your little person, with their nature, their tendencies, what feels good to them, what doesn't, how they move, whether it's with quietness, stillness, or energy and fierceness. Who they are is already there. How we complement that is the nurture they live within. Okay, that is a big old training for a whole nother day. But for today, go back to that image. You still holding it? You and that baby, that tiny little head nestled into your chest, feeling their breath up and down on yours. What are they at that moment? They're an extension of you that needs to be changed, to be fed, to be rocked, to be rested, and to feel well in their body. Those are their 5 basic needs as an infant. Who are they? That's for you to figure out. It's the coolest mystery to solve ever. And here's how you do it. by observation. We're so busy. We're moving, we're planning, we're creating. This isn't even done and we're thinking about the next thing that we're going to go do. Hey, I am way more guilty of it than you are, I'm quite sure. But built into that, I force myself to step back, take a breath, and observe. Observe your children today. Watch them. How do they approach this day? Are they running, looking, searching, excited, big voices, little screeches? They want to tell you everything. Mama, 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 daddy, 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 look, I found it, I found it, I found it. Or are they slower? Do they kind of mosey along? Do they have a quieter tone about them? Do they communicate with you a little more visually? Just kind of look into your eyes? Do they wait to see what all the other kids are doing before they start? Are they a little scared about doing it on their own? You're their comfort zone. I have a Velcro child. I understand this. No Easter egg was ever found without one hand connected to me at all times. Observe. Now, the dark side of observing is judging. And we can flip that switch without even realizing we've done it because it's so ingrained in us. Not just to see something, but then to have an opinion about it. Okay? And these things are very interconnected. And so take this warning. Okay? Observe your children on this really special day without judgment. It's hard. It's really hard because it's subconscious. We see them running. We see them grabbing. We see them with 14 eggs in their basket. Well, their sibling has 2, and yet they're still grabbing as many as they can possibly find. Okay, what does an observation of that moment look like? Kind of what I just described. Energetic, excited, desire to succeed kid is running, doing the whole thing, where the quieter, calmer, more intuitive sibling is just kind of poking around, maybe grabbing onto you occasionally and noticing that they don't have the same as their sibling, but not real keen on making an issue out of it. What's our tendency as parents? To gloss over the observation and go straight to the judgment and the solution. Johnny, look at your brother. He only has 2 eggs in his basket. You're taking all the eggs. That's not nice. Wow, that happened fast, didn't it? We missed a couple steps. Observe the observation. Notice who your children are being in that space. And when you're ready to intervene, do it without judgment. It's tricky, but it's called narrating. That's what I call it. I call it narrating the situation. And to narrate something, you're using language that's observational. So you've done the receptive observation, and now you're going to do the expressive observation. Johnny, I notice you have lots of eggs in your basket. Did you notice how many your brother has? I have not judged. I have narrated my observation. Now it's up to Johnny to decide if he's going to join me in this. He looks. Yeah, I see. I think your brother might like to find a few more eggs, and you seem really good at finding them. Could you help him? Maybe you guys could go look for eggs together. I worked with the kids. I observed who they were being in the situation. I narrated the situation for the one who couldn't get out of his own way. He needed to do the same thing I did. He needed to stop, take a breath, and be supported to see what was happening around him. And then I recommended a solution. Will it work? I don't know. But I know that opportunities to develop that perspective are my job. As a parent, that's my job. It's not my job to always expect my kids to be perfect. It's not my job to always lead them to the right answer and be like, see, I'm so much older than you and I know better. It's not my job. It's my job to support my kids in learning the skills they need to be successful in navigating these spaces and these interactions, even when I'm not there. That's my job. And that's your job too. And it's a big job. And to some degree, it's unfair because nobody gives you the guidebook when you're holding that beautiful little infant and says, here you go. Here's how you do this job. When you apply for a new job position, you get a handbook. You get an operating manual. You don't get one with your kids. But from a humanitarian's perspective, I can give you these type of tricks, these type of mindsets and perspective shifts for who you would love to raise, based entirely on who your child already is. So happy Easter. Celebrate life today. Observe your kids. Enjoy watching who they are and try really hard not to judge them for their natural tendencies if they're things you don't particularly enjoy. Have a great day, everybody.